Hi, welcome back. My name is Jerry Costello. I'm one of the pastors here at Fellowship. I serve as the campus pastor for our Collingswood campus. Um, One of the other hats that I wear, one of the my roles, my functions that I love, is that I get to be involved with our Stephen ministry, as I serve as a Stephen leader and provide direction for that ministry. Um, and it is one of my greatest joys. The other night, last Tuesday, we met with our Stephen ministers. All of us, we gathered via Zoom. And as we were speaking, one of the thoughts that we had was, um, how we are being careful even with our medical concerns. Many people are not going to the doctor. Many are not going to hospitals. We're practicing social distancing for the safety of ourselves and others. We're putting things off that are not absolutely necessary right now. And so we're not neglecting our care, but we're being careful about our own physical care. And one of the questions that came up was maybe we are also doing that with our spiritual health. Maybe we're putting things off. Maybe during this time we're just going to wait and see. And so things that are happening in our lives, we're just going to postpone until we can get back together with friends or with gather with the church. And if that's true, then we're missing an opportunity. And so we wanted to present to you again Stephen Ministry and what it is and how it may be a benefit to you. So what is Stephen Ministry, you ask? Well, Stephen Ministry is, by definition, distinctively Christian, one-to-one lay care. Stephen Ministry is an expression of the love of Jesus Christ, and it's also an extension of the pastoral care of our church. Our Stephen ministers are matched up with one care receiver, and the two, care giver and care receiver, meet regularly, typically once per week. And although not optimal, there are many very effective ways to meet, even while practicing social distancing. And we're all getting very good at using these means, whether it's Zoom or FaceTime or even just a good old-fashioned phone call. Stephen ministers are well-trained, supervised volunteers who provide a high level of support and care. They're not professional caregivers. Their role is different from that of a counselor or a therapist, a psychiatrist or a psychologist, a physician, or even that of a pastor. Stephen ministers are trained to care by listening, supporting, praying. Stephen ministers offer non-judgmental, spiritual, and emotional support. And it's also important that you know Stephen ministers practice a strict code of confidentiality. At the heart of Stephen ministry is the belief that God is at work. God works in the big things, and he works in the small things. God is at work in his world, and he is at work in his people. God is at work reforming and transforming us into the image of his Son, Jesus, who is the image of the Father. This work of God is in the deep, secret, interior places, in our hearts and in our minds, places that we don't fully know ourselves. And we believe that God knows how to speak to us. He knows how to get to those deep places that sometimes even we would choose not to go. Maybe God is at work in you right now. Maybe this time we find ourselves in is hitting you in a particularly hard way. Maybe you're not working and you're uncertain about what the future holds. Maybe you're at home with your kids all day, and what should be a cause for happiness is creating a feeling of resentment that you can't share with anyone. Maybe you're responsible for caring for the needs of others and are feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you're a frontline worker and you're dealing with fear and heartbreak and exhaustion, and you just need someone to listen without judging. Maybe you're racked with fear and anxiety that won't stop creeping into your mind, no matter how many times you give it to God. Or maybe you're isolated and you feel that no one cares or remembers that you even exist. For all of those reasons and many more, would you consider giving yourself the gift of a Stephen minister? We have Stephen ministers available, men and women of faith and of compassion, who are available to meet with you regularly to provide the love and the care of Christ and his church to you. God is at work. He's always at work in his world and in you. Can you believe this? That God literally moves heaven and earth to bring us to places where we can see things about him and things about ourselves that we would not see any other way. And can you believe that God may be working in you in that way? And so don't waste a minute of what he is doing in you. If you would like more information about Stephen Ministry, contact Ben Willie or Mike or Joanna Candy, Scott or Faith Parker, or my wife Linda or me. Our contact information is available on the church's website, and we would be thrilled to tell you more and to get you hooked up with your own Stephen minister. It is our desire that God would use this time in your life to accomplish his best for you in making you more like his son. Peace to you.